Welcome to the 290 Mo podcast. I appreciate your time. If you could, introduce yourself to my viewers and listeners.
What's good, everybody? It's your boy JG SWAYZE representing SWAYZE Land and Harvey World once again, back in the building.
Yo, yo. Definitely appreciate you coming through, man. If you don't mind, I want to start from the top, man. I want to start from the top. So, where you from? Where you grew up?
Man, I'm from Harvey, Illinois. I'm born in Ingles, you know what I'm saying? But before we get
Mm-hmm.
deep into it, man, I know last time a lot of people was mad at me and shit, man. You mind if I kick a freestyle real quick?
Oh
Just a quick
yeah,
little
shit. Hey.
they said I ain't do nothing last time.
That's what they said.
Yeah, they said I ain't give them nothing last time. So look, it's got to be better than last time. It's got to be something they never seen. I don't do text or do phone calls. I see you in traffic, remain clean. The 40 you bang if you change schemes. You know that I hate when you change things. You know I ain't playing but weighing things. This Gemini shit gonna remain me. I got purple doja with some orange hairs. Flip a pack of that whoopie for cornbread. Now my bitch super thick as she corn fed. And when she asks me for shit, I say, go ahead. Niggas know I get money from both fans. When you die for your family, your soul live. That's the price that you pay as a grown man for putting your life in your own hands. But I get to work. And that's it right there. You know what I'm saying? Drop something right there for y'all real
Man,
quick.
that's crazy. That's crazy. Appreciate that, man. Appreciate that. We're gonna have to have D up in here, man. We're gonna have to tag D up in there.
Let her know.
Man. Let her know. Let her know, man. So with that out the way, man. Starting from the top, man. Where did it start for Jay Z, man?
Man, where it started for me was I was 7 years old, went to a cookout in Kankakee. My grandfather got a farm out there, and my father and my brother were
Like a farm or like chickens.
farm with chickens. Like right now, he old as hell now, so
Mhm.
he only got like one chicken, and
They got one chicken
he
left.
got like one chicken now. You know what I'm saying? He's 70 something years old, but
Right.
back then he used to have like a annual hog roast. So he used to roast a hog, invite everybody out there.
Mm-hmm.
I seen my brother and my father rapping out there, and I was like, man, I want to do that. So after that, I just started writing poetry. You know what I'm saying? Doing that in school, and it just led to making music after a while. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. So so
Sure.
So as a young black male, I just want to ask, as like a young black male, you know what I'm saying, being able to see the farm and being around the hog rows, does that have an effect like on your coming up, or is it just like, you know what I'm saying, normal when you come from that? Do you think like that builds some like any type of structure like in a young man anyway?
I think country living in general like makes a young man grow up a little bit faster because you already got that mind state of like getting to work.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? We was learning how to drive at 10 years old. You know what I'm saying? Learn how to drive cars and tractors and lawnmowers and shit like that, and working the land and things of that nature. So, you know, even with working on a farm or living on a farm, my dad told me, you know, shouldn't no man be waking up past 8 o'clock in the morning. So I kind of got that mindset nowadays. I be waking up at 6 o'clock,
Mm-hmm.
just off the strength, like, damn, I got something to do. I ain't even got nothing to do.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Just get into it.
For sure. So coming up, you know what I'm saying, with all them with that type of avenues and lifestyle available to you, what type of aspirations did you have? Like was it the farm life? Was it something different? Was it, you know what I'm saying?
Now, I didn't necessarily grow up on the farm,
Okay.
but I got family from the South, like my grandparents that came from Georgia and Mississippi.
Mm-hmm.
My grandfather, like I said, he in Kankakee, so he got a farm. So I go out there on the summertime and stuff like that. But I mostly was out here growing up, you know what I'm saying? Like the South suburbs and around there and things of that nature. But when I did go down to the South, it's definitely a culture shock, you know what I'm saying? Because when I was younger, I want to say maybe sixth grade, I went to go live in Atlanta. And man, coming from up here, going down there, you be talking so fast. Every time you say something to somebody, they be like, "What?
Mm-hmm.
What?" So I developed a stuttering problem when I was down there because I was
Yeah.
talking so fast because my thoughts are coming so fast. So people down there is a little bit slower.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So I had to learn how to really slow myself down and get my thoughts out really and convey them a little bit better. Because down there in the South, like 10, 20 years ago, life was a whole lot slower.
Mhm. So you say you developed a stuttering problem just from talking too fast, from the people not being able to keep up?
Yeah.
That's fucked up. So how did the other people look at it? Like you from being from Chicago and coming down there, was they like teasing you for it, or was they understanding, or was it a hard time? You know what I'm saying?
Let my dad tell it. I was fighting every day. My dad,
Oh,
he was
yeah.
like, son, you gonna fight every day? I told him, I was like, if I have to, dad. You know what I'm saying? Because it'd be, you know, people calling you white boy.
Mm-hmm.
It'd be people teasing you because you stuttering a little bit. People just, you know what I'm saying? The sad part about it was when I was down there going to school, I was the only black kid in my class who wasn't in special ed. I went to Oglethorpe County Elementary School for anybody that's in Georgia that knows, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, I was the only black kid that went to special ed, and growing up now, being a grown man and looking back, that's kind of fucked up.
Yeah, that's fucked up for real. And did you understand like the dynamics of that back then?
I had no idea, man. I had no idea like necessarily what racism and like the pipeline prison system was about. I was just a kid living, and just when I went down there, because when I was up here, I was on the honor roll, and it was normal for black kids to be on the honor roll and for us to be not in special ed. I don't even think we had special ed up here
Right.
like that.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So when I go down there and it's completely changed, it was just weird for me because it was like it was a culture type of thing for young black kids to not want to excel in school.
Mm-hmm.
And that shit was kind of fucking me up a little bit while I was down there. So my mama, she didn't let me stay for that long. I ended up coming back at the end of 6th grade, and then I finished out up here.
So did you go down there being talking like a city slicker, then come back to Chicago? Now you country and have to readjust all over again, or was it?
Country itself, certain things I be saying, I'm talking about, you hear me, all types of shit. Just from living in Georgia all that, just from living in Georgia all that time, you know what I'm saying? I definitely did pick up some of their slang. I picked up a little bit of their jargon. I picked up a little bit of their swag, and I definitely slowed down a little bit because being up here, we move fast, we think fast, but being down there, since I had to slow it down, I thought about my actions a lot more because I had time to. You know what I'm saying? There was a lot of shit they was trying to get away with down there that they couldn't get over on me because I was just too fast. So when I come back up here,
They'll probably fuck around trying to put you in the slow class down there.
you know what I'm saying?
Oh, sure. So all that, you know what I'm saying, in the midst of that, was it easy to, you know what I'm saying, to have aspirations about other things? Like, was you thinking about, you know what I'm saying, what come after this, like during that time, like after school? Was there anything that ever crossed your mind?
Man, I ain't gonna lie to you. When I was you talking about when I was down south?
Yeah, down south and just as an adolescence period. You know
Man,
what
I
I'm
was
saying? Like,
down south. I was just literally living that country boy life, being outside on those red clay roads, no shirt on, just running through the streets afterwards, after school, shooting dice with the neighborhood kids. My grandmama lived in a trailer park, so I was out there with all the different types of, you know what I'm saying? I was out there in the trenches basically in Oglethorpe, Athens, and stuff like that. But as far as music went when I was down there, that was around the time when T.I. was first coming out. Like Jeezy didn't have a name yet. Like Atlanta music was real like rough around the edges during that time that I was living out there. Like Sierra was coming out, so it was like teen heartthrobs from Atlanta coming out and shit like that. And it was just a beautiful time for me, like to live out there in Atlanta when Atlanta music was being birthed to become what it is right now was crazy, bro. Like you can't even explain it. Like I remember when I was living out there, or when I went back out there when I was a little bit older, I didn't like Jeezy's music because I just didn't like his voice. But my cousin had me riding around listening to that shit, and I was like, hey, you know what? Jeezy kind of hard.
yeah, Jeezy,
You know what I'm saying? Jeezy kind of hard. But I was like, Gucci Mane, them niggas kind of hard. But it's kind of like you won't appreciate it unless you kind of living out there type shit. So I was out there when Black Tea first came out by Gucci Mane. I was out there when Jeezy first dropped Trap or Die. I was out there during all that time. So it was like I was able to experience that music firsthand and how it affected the streets. And then when I came back to Chicago, I had a different understanding of it and a different feeling for it and a different respect for it. Cause up here we just like, man, anybody trying to hit a country ass shit, you know what I'm saying? We playing Kanye, we playing Twisted, we playing all different types of shit from up here. Or even back then, we was still listening to East Coast rap. Or we was listening to 3 6 Mafia, or we was listening to, Project Pat and all of them, you know what I'm saying? When nobody really in Chicago listening to Atlanta music at that time. It took a minute for it to grow on us. I would say like Chicago grasped ATL and Atlanta music maybe 2012, 2013-ish.
Yeah, that's about right.
It took a little minute.
Nah, I would. Nah, see, I'm 32, and I always tell people when I had this conversation like about drill, like from somebody who's like in the streets at that time, like Atlanta really birthed the drill, cause what we was listening to like in the streets was Gucci, Jeezy, Flocka. Like if you listen to Flocka, like the ad libs, that's Chief Keef. That's the same thing.
So what do you classify as drill? Like the difference between
We made drill, but I said we got the drill from trap. You know what I'm saying? They was down there selling drugs and being cool with everybody. We was up here gang banging and shooting shit up. So that's how the drill. But before we got the drill, when we was outside, like we was listening to that shit on short.
That's true. That's
On
true.
short. Just like flocking them and all that. They is when I listen to Flock, he be like pow pow pow. Like that's crazy. That's the same ad as Sosa.
2012.
Yeah, that's around the same. You right on the head about the same time on shorty. So was you messing with the music when you seeing all this stuff around you going on, or was it you just still spectating?
So I started making music seriously, like I want to say recording wise, when I was about 14. So what's that? 2006 ish, 2007 ish.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Then I ain't really necessarily get my reins in the game until about 2010 when I graduated from high school. So
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I was emerging right around that time.
What made you want to get involved?
My family, for one, like I said, my brother and my father, and then for two, just the people I was around, because everybody I knew rap, everybody I knew was making music, everybody I knew was listening to music, and then on top of that, like I said, I was I wasn't the only child, but both of my brothers are 8 years older than me, and they was incarcerated back when I was 8 years old. So they was 16.
Mm-hmm.
They was incarcerated. One of them is still incarcerated, and the other one just got out like 4 years ago. So I pretty much grew up as an only child, and I was kind of sheltered a little bit. So music was all I had. So I'd just be in the crib listening to music. Or if I made it outside somewhere, I go listen to music. Me and my homie Rich, we used to skip school and try to figure out how to make Cool Edit Pro, which was like a precursor to Adobe Audition and Pro Tools and all that shit. We try to figure out how that worked and try to figure out how to make FL Studio work, cracking plugins and trying to make beats and shit. I bought my first beat machine when I was 16.
So like you mentioned taking this, you said after high school is when you took it serious. So before then, what was you doing with the music? What was you doing? Was you releasing it? Was you SoundCloud? Like what was you doing with the work you was doing then?
My first mixtape came out when I was in high school. I think it was called Return to the New School or some shit like that. That was when I first, like I said, bought my beat machine when I was 16, and I really was able to put beats together and really like kind of put a concept together and conceptualize how to do a whole project. So when I put that out, that was back when we was burning CDs. I was burning CDs, giving them out in class, giving them out in school, things of that nature. And then after that, I want to say when I got to college, that's when the mold kind of broke because I went to Columbia for a semester. So I was able to meet a plethora of different artists, a whole different, you know, diaspora of people just by being in downtown Chicago, in the heart of Chicago. Like I said in the previous interview, that's why I seen Chance the Rapper out there at Jones Prep College. He used to go to school right across the street from Columbia. And I met King Louie, met Tink, met all these different people just in the studio because it was during that time when all of this music was emerging, like 2010, 2011, 2012, when everybody was really coming together and that Chicago scene, my generation was really taking off. So during that period, I would just go into the studios a lot. Whatever studio I could get to, I go to that motherfucker. Even if I get to sit in a session or if it ain't my session, you know what I'm saying, hop in somebody else's session, just see what's going on. That's why I really got deeper into the engineering aspect. I just love mixing as well. But yeah, King Louie's engineer Rich, who Major Illuminati, I think one or two, used to kick it with him all the time. Used to be in the studio with him all the time. That's how I met King Louie and them. That's how I met Chance the Rapper in the studio a few different times too. But it's like when you in it, you don't know who the fuck finna blow up. You know what I'm saying? You don't know that this nigga right here making this got a whole rollout planned or he got a whole team behind him and he finna take off and do some other shit. You just like, hey, we just some niggas high in the studio.
None of that talent jumped off the page when you know what I'm saying, bumped with him. None of that talent, like man, that nigga gonna be something. Like none of them jumped out to you like that.
At the time, I definitely knew Tink was gonna do something. I definitely knew because she used to do, like her mother was her manager, so she used to lock down Markham and have performances up at the roller rink and shit like that. So when I seen how she was moving, I was like, nah,
Classic venue right there.
Yeah, she gonna do something. So I already knew that Tink was gonna do something. But King Louie, not necessarily because he was kind of in and out. Like he'll come in the studio, smoke, do his thing, dip off, this, that, and the third. Like it'd be so many people that take off.
This was a studio at Columbia?
No, it was just a studio downtown. Okay. You know, I can't remember the name of it at this point because it's been like 10 years. But you never know who's gonna take off. Like J-Mane, I went to school with him. I went to Lake Central High School in Indiana with him back when he was Jeremiah and his, you know what I'm saying? I knew his little brother Jeremy and everything. And he used to just be a funny little dude. Like, he like 2 or 3 years younger than me, but I ain't had no idea 10 years later he was gonna be doing what he doing and being on no jumping and shit like that. You just never know when you're around somebody what's gonna be the next step for them. And but I always knew the people that I was around wasn't wasting their time. That's why I even entertained being around these individuals.
So you mentioned music as you know what I'm saying, you start creating it as like as a type of coping mechanism. So if you could like get into your creative process, like was you freestyling to instrumentals? Was you writing? Was you journaling? What form did that take?
Well, I want to say I kind of modeled my processes after who my favorite artist is. So my favorite artist went from Nas to Lupe to Future. So
That's a
yeah,
that's a crazy ass iceberg.
yeah. Well, from
Lupe
Nas to
Lupe
Lupe to
Lupe the
Kanye.
future.
Yeah.
Lupe the future. That's a. Well, I'm gonna let you explain.
Yeah. So in the beginning, like what happened with me was I was playing Tony Hawk or whatever, and I had changed the
Play it to this day.
yeah,
I got 1 and 2 on the PC now.
I changed the I think it was underground or something like that, and I changed the sound settings to only the rap songs playing. Then I heard a Nas song for the first time. I'm like, man, what the fuck is this? Like back at that time, we was making snap music and Soldier Boy type tracks, you know what I'm saying, and Get Fly music and Nike Edge and Chris T type music. I was like, man, this shit crazy. His rhyme scheme is crazy. This is how niggas rap for real. And I look up the year that it came out, and I'm like, oh shit, this shit came out when I was born. So then I was like, hey, I gotta step my game up. Then I really started writing. So that was back when I was a teenager. So in my young teens, I started to kind of like write like an East Coast rapper, like full 16 bars on a boom bap type beat or some straight like political consciousness type shit or social consciousness type shit. And then when I got a little bit older, you know, I was like, well, damn, I'm still young as hell. Everybody my age ain't really trying to hear that shit right now. So then I kind of leaned towards like Future, because when I was in college, man, Future got me through some hard times, like just turning up on him. And I was like, I gotta make this turn up music, man, turn up just a little bit. So I stopped writing so heavily and focusing so heavily on like getting a specific message out and beating, you know what I'm saying, browbeating on people or trying to make people feel guilty in my damn music, and more so like changing it to a narrative of like, this is my story, this is how I want to tell it. And you know what I'm saying, you can do what you do, but don't do what I do, and this is what I've done. And then after a certain period, when I started really getting deeper into my production, I started freestyling everything. And I started making what I would call chant rap. So I figure like if I do 4 bars off the top of the dome and I can remember it, if somebody hear it for the first time, they're gonna be able to remember it. And that's just kind of how I've been building my songs ever since then. So now my new music is more so chant rap. Sometimes I break it down and throw a flow in there with some metaphors, but the majority of it is like 4-bar chants or 8-bar chants or something like that, just so I know the listener, when they hear it, they'll be able to catch on to it and really just gravitate towards faster and remember it. Because it's all about remembering the music. Because when I watch artists that I respect, like I went to, I think it was, I forgot the name of the tour was, but last year it was a tour with Warren G, Too Short, Wiz Khalifa, and Burner. And when Warren G was on stage, I was like, damn, the way he performing, everybody know the words. When Too Short performed Blow the Whistle, everybody knew the words. But then when Wiz got on there, that nigga was running out of breath, and he the most in shape out of all of them. All them damn words that you trying to jumble up, you know what I'm saying, it don't necessarily make for a good performance. So I'm like, damn, it really do make sense to kind of like simplify it a little bit so people can catch it, still dance, catch a vibe. And when you in a venue full of so many people, they can, what's my favorite word? Why you gotta say it like short? You know what I'm saying? Instead of you just and running out of breath and shit while you on stage.
So with you know what I'm saying, stepping back and analyzing that situation like that, do you do you take that approach to every song? Like I gotta make it basically accessible for everybody, or do you be like, I got songs that's for live performances and I got songs where I go crazy, but it's just for the track, you know what I'm saying? Where motherfuckers can catch their breath type shit. Well, I'll probably catch my own breath.
Well, it's definitely songs that are performance tracks, and then there's songs that are like album cuts, as they call them. And for the most part, I really try to make performance tracks, 'cause I love to perform. But if it's an album cut, I don't necessarily promote it as hard as the performance track is, because you know, performance track, that's what's gonna go viral. Those people gonna make TikTok dances too. That's what you're gonna be performing on stage and stuff like that. But that doesn't take away from, you know what I'm saying, the album cuts, because those are the ones that you can get in depth and tell your story and really show off your writing process. That's why I give kudos to artists like Kendrick, where he can kind of do both. You
Mm-hmm.
know, like on that Not Like Us joint, he was really rapping on them verses, but the hook is simple. They
Mm-hmm.
not like us.
Mm-hmm.
That's the whole hook. You
For
know what I'm
sure.
saying?
For sure, man. So also still talking about your creative process, you know what I'm saying? And you can talk about the evolution from when you started to now. Do you ever take in mind who's gonna be listening? Like is it be like I gotta make a song for the radio, I gotta make one for the ladies, one for the guys late night, or is it just a vibe whenever you create?
Man, that's a great question because in the beginning, I had that dilemma where I used to just vent in my music. So I'd just be writing about shit that I'm going through. And then I took that step back and looked at myself in third person, like, who the fuck's supposed to vibe to this other than me? They don't know my life. These people don't know me. So now I kind of do a mixture of, all right, this is something for the club. This is for the smokers. This is something for the ladies.
Mm-hmm.
This is something for the streets. And I kind of, categorize my music now, so I have a little bit of something for everybody. Because the project I'm working on right now with my brother Gigavelli, the most of it, we just been rapping our ass off on it. So I was like, bro, we got to get a song where, you know what I'm saying, we can play it in the club. And we also got to come out with a song for the females. So we started working on that part and that aspect as well. But it also turns into, you want cohesiveness in your project. You don't want to be all over the
And that's
place.
why I want to ask you, does that go into like one whole project? Like is this whole project for the ladies, or is it we're going the first two, we're going in the last two tracks? Like is that type of conversation that y'all have, or is it just we're gonna put a mix for we're gonna make sure it's something for everybody on this project?
Man, sometimes it's just how the wind blows. Because when I'm working with other people, I kind of go off of their vibe and feed off of that. And then if I feel like all we making is stoner tracks, like when my homie, with my last project I did, Cushmore Legends, we had a mixture of it on there. We had one track on there for the ladies. No, we had two tracks on there for the ladies. A lot of the tracks on there was like stoner, chill music. And then there was like one song on there that was like a hardcore, like East Coast type joint.
Mm.
But the majority of it, I felt like it had a stoner vibe to it. Like it was real chill music. So I wanted to keep that cohesiveness where it was like, let's not go too left field and make a quote unquote crunk song, or go too left field and make a drill song or nothing like that.
Mm.
Let's stay within the cohesiveness of like, all right, we just two niggas that like to smoke weed, chill, you know what I'm saying, mess with the ladies and do our part in the community. So that's kind of how I stayed there. It really depends on the artist I'm working with, because my artist that I'm working with for the new project,
Mm-hmm.
he be making some drill ass songs.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like I kind of he gotta tone back a little bit, and I gotta toughen up a little bit when we working together.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
Another thing I want to ask you about, you know what I'm saying, and it's definitely unique to you is your delivery. You know what I'm saying? The way you deliver it, and you kind of attested that a little bit earlier about the chanting method. You know what I'm saying? But if you could, and you could just speak from your evolution from the beginning to now, was your delivery always, you know what I'm saying, the way we hear you now on the track, or did you start off as the average artist and you develop the way you is now, or how
Oh,
did that
hell
come
no.
about?
In the beginning, I was writing straight on composition paper, you know, uh, dictionary rapping, trying to use the biggest words I can use, sounding like the most intelligent rapper ever. Like I was trying to Nas and Lupe it out in the beginning, and stay super like by the book hip hop, as you call it. You know what I'm saying? East Coast hip hop on the boom bap beeps and all of that. But then I realized like I like this music, but people my age might not gravitate to it because we only like 14, 15 years old.
Mm-hmm.
So then I kind of transitioned into, okay, when I went to college or whatever, that's when I learned music theory. So I learned how to tweak my 808s, how to put everything in key. So the bass line started hitting hard. I'm like, okay, I can kind of flip it on some 3-6 Mafia type shit. I can flow a little bit, but then the beat still be hitting hard.
Mm-hmm.
And I still don't have to necessarily dumb my lyrics down.
Mm-hmm.
Then when I got to the chant stage, it was like, let me break it up a little bit because I'm running out of breath and shit trying to perform all this on stage and people not really catching what I'm saying. So my main motive now, I guess the transition would have been like me trying to over rap in the beginning just to prove a point, to me trying to break it down for people to understand it and digest it now.
So another thing too, you know what I'm saying, I want to ask you is what was the response to the people around you, you know what I'm saying, when you come with your unique style, you know what I'm saying? What's the response to people around? Is it unexpected? Is it they gotta get used to it, they hit you up like, man, that's what I've been looking for? What's the response to the delivery?
I haven't heard nobody say I was whack since I was damn near a teenager. So
It's been a long
yeah,
time.
it's been a long time. But I do have people that say, it may or may not be their type of music. Like, for instance, I can have a lot of respect for let me see, what's an artist I don't necessarily like. Kendrick ain't my favorite artist.
Mm,
I ain't even gonna say he in my top. I don't even listen to his music like that.
mm.
But I respect
Yeah.
lyricism.
Yeah, that's how I feel about him. I don't listen to shit at all, but I respect. I listen to some of that like that.
Yeah,
Pull up, drink,
yeah,
that shit. That's that
I
shit.
ain't
I'm
never gonna say
sure.
that nigga can't rap. I ain't never gonna say he
Bitch, don't kill my vibe. That's that shit. I'm sure. But I don't listen to him though.
Yeah, I ain't gonna be riding in the
Yeah.
car, you know what I'm saying,
I'm sure.
chilling and
Yeah.
trying to do business.
I ain't never say put that Kendrick on.
Yeah. And that's no slight to him.
Yeah, no slight at all. I'm
He's still
sure.
one of the greats.
Right.
The same thing with like Eminem, for instance.
Right.
I don't have no.
But it used to be like that. I used to be like that. Eminem used to be the greatest, my ass. Like
Yeah.
Eminem show, Marshall Mathers, he used to go crazy.
You know what? That was a different time.
I'm sure.
That was a different time.
But he just dropped some shit the other day called Houdini. That shit
he went crazy.
trash. That shit garbage. I'm sorry.
It's a thing though.
That hibbity hobbity jubbity.
He's doing the same thing, but the time has changed. Times have changed.
I don't know, man.
Because it's called the death of Slim Shady, right?
Yeah.
He bringing the Slim Shady shit back.
He need to do like that I'm sorry mama type shit. You know what I'm saying? That forgot about Dre type shit. That's the
Days
type
over.
shit.
He ain't on the pills no more.
Yeah, that's the type of shit he need to do. That's the type of shit. Until he do that, I ain't feeling this shit. I'm sure it's a little too whacked out. But I respect if you sit down and listen to him as an artist and respect the art, he going crazy.
Yeah.
Like the way he put words together, he like a freak with it. You know what I'm saying?
And people get mad at you for saying that. People
Yeah,
get
for sure.
mad at you
For sure.
for saying like, "Hey, man." Like, well, one of my favorite quotes from Common, he said, "If I don't like it, I don't like it. That don't mean that I'm hating."
Right.
And that's what it is. It's like at the end of the day, it's music. Bro.
At the end of the day, music is subjective. You know what I'm saying? You like what you like. Some people think Blueface is the best thing that ever happened, and some people think, you know what I'm saying, he garbage. You know what I'm saying? It's just what you listen to, what you like, man.
And I think it's a lot of it is cultural too. Because like growing up, I didn't really hear a lot of necessarily West Coast music other than Tupac.
I didn't either. I
Still
didn't either hear no. I still don't like when Nipsey Hussle died. I'm sure that I didn't know.
You didn't get into him like that.
I didn't know. I didn't know. Not the most I knew about him was he was dating Lil Wayne, baby mama.
But we closer to the east than we are to the west.
Yeah, I feel like we get more they music. You know but I feel like the West is cemented in their culture. The East Coast, they bite a lot of, you know what Chicago do. You know what I'm saying? Like they got the Chicago drill now and all that shit. So they like it's connected in that way. The West Coast as well, you ain't gonna change the way they talk. They Crips and Bloods forever. You know what I'm saying? So
them boys that be rapping on the beat from 1990,
right,
man, they still be, you know what I'm saying, just updated drums on the West Coast. They got a sound over there, but we so far from them. Like it's a lot of states, big ass states that separates us from them. Like that's a whole coast, but they so locked in. Like when I went to Vegas, niggas in Vegas sound like niggas from LA. They listening to LA music.
Yeah, for sure. That's like, you know, the niggas from LA, they like go party in Vegas. It's like they
like
St. Louis to Chicago type shit.
Exactly. So that kind of blew my mind because I was like, man, what's up with Vegas? What Vegas got going on? I wonder what their music sound like. It sounds just like LA.
With all that being said, man, who would you say your target audience is if you got one?
I would say first and foremost the stoners. I make real chill music, and I would say like the South for two. Just based off of the beats, like I like a lot of down tempo, bass heavy beats, and I grew up listening to 3 6 Mafia, really heavy. Like when I was in high school, I was listening to all the DJ Paul's cuts and just studying those beats because I just love that deep, dark bass. And then I was listening to Texas.
Yeah, I used to fuck with 3 6 Mafia hard too. I'm mad. That's how don't know groups ever stay together, man, and just be great forever. Like
They
Jackson Five, Migos,
kind of still together, but
man. Look,
kind of
yeah,
not.
it's kind of weird. Like Country Black and all them, they kind of be like this, and you know what I'm
Oh
saying?
yeah,
It's
yeah.
like,
I mean, I seen Crunchy a few years ago.
yeah,
He's something else more. That
yeah,
man
that man, he wild.
wild.
Yeah, he wild. But he like one of
Yeah,
all of them like real people. You know what I'm saying? We be real people. You know what I'm saying? Making the most out of our talents. You know what I'm saying? So I definitely understand. You know what I'm saying? The
did
men
Bone Thugs stay together?
did they?
I mean, some people did solo shit, but
Yeah,
they still be touring
yeah,
together. Like when they had the 3-6
yeah.
versus Bone Thugs.
I don't know if
Versus,
all of them still together. 'Cause I don't know if you ever seen like the footage of the the white boy used to get drunk.
oh, you talking about Busy?
Busy, he used to get drunk. It's like a lot of videos of them like tweaking backstage and them
I
kicking
think
them out.
I think Busy got his shit together though.
Yeah, that's
He
what's up, man. Hopefully,
he too old for that shit. So.
yeah, man. Yeah,
And,
man.
crazy. He got some medical stuff going on, so he don't even smoke weed no more,
Yeah.
which is crazy. To
Yeah,
me.
that's crazy.
So they
That's
all getting
crazy.
older, man. Our childhood
Yeah.
rappers is in their 50s, man.
That's still I still think it's a lot of artists that never got to reach their potential. I don't think, you know what I'm saying? Like I think they could have reached higher peaks of easy, would have never died, all type of shit. You know what I'm
Man,
saying? Oh, that's dope, man. So with you being so involved in the game and so long, who would you say your influence was coming up? Like you said you used to watch a lot of the East Coast guys, but did any of them like there was Nas like the one for you, or did you have another favorite rapper
as far as
coming up?
being inspired,
Yeah,
I
inspiration.
say no artist inspired me
Hmm.
more than Kanye West did.
Yeah. What was it about? Yeah.
Man, he when that college dropout came out, he took over the
Yeah.
city. Like
He
I
had
have not heard an album to this date where every last track was played on the radio.
yeah.
Every last track off of that album was played on the radio.
That's what I said. And you know, if it was another album that was close with it, was another Kanye West album, I'm sure. You
Exactly.
know what I'm saying?
Nobody complained.
Oh, yeah,
Nobody complained
yeah.
about his shit playing.
Yeah, nobody complained. You know, Kanye West is the first and only rap CD my mother ever bought me. On
Yeah.
Shorty. Yeah. I told her mom that's Jesus Walk Dude on Shorty.
It's crazy you say that.
First and
The
ever.
first one I ever had was Get Rich or Die Trying.
Oh yeah. Yeah, see, she
That was the same year.
my cousin bought me that.
That was
She
the same year.
made it. She threw it. She gave it was I got the G Unit CD, the Beg for Mercy
Mercy.
on Shorty.
Oh, the classic right
Give
there.
me that on Shorty. Give me that. But she let me keep the Kanye though on Shorty. But Kanye, he was talking that's a classic, boy. That broke fat broke all that shit, boy. That shit. I'm listening to that shit tonight, man. That shit classic.
Yeah.
Man, so with you doing music also, man, and having a also, you know what I'm saying, go through real life at the same time. Did you ever get discouraged like, man, fuck this music shit. I'm finna go be a carpenter or
Uh,
I'm finna do this or do that, or you always been 10 toes?
well, I always had a plan B, so I went to school for electrical engineering. Graduated in 2015. So I've been doing that professionally for about 9 years now.
Mhm.
That's always been like my plan B. So it's like I've always been able to do music carefree without a care. Like, damn, I'm gonna keep the lights on them like that.
Mhm.
That ain't never been
I'ma just
necessary.
tap into the neighbor shit. What you talking about?
Right? Yeah. They ain't never been necessarily a
Good
thought
ass
in my
trade.
mind. But the thing that kept me going was I don't do music necessarily for clout. And I don't do it to get attention. I do it because I love it. I do it because when I was younger, all I had was listening to my mama's CDs, listening to Anita Baker, listening to Sade, listening to Aaliyah, listening to, all of these different artists and just consuming myself in the music. And that's what got me through life. So it's like performing it and creating it, it's always gonna be a part of me. I never sit down and be like, man, I ain't gonna do this shit no more because such and such sound too old or such and such said they ain't fucking with it.
Mhm.
I'm doing this shit because this sound good to me and I love doing it.
Mhm.
So I ain't never necessarily felt like quitting. Like, of course you get frustrated with anything, that's just like if you was hooping. Like, if a motherfucker don't make the team, they're gonna be mad. But then they turn around and make the next team and become Jordan.
Mhm.
So, yeah, as far as that go, I don't think it's never gonna be nothing that's gonna discourage me to the point where I'm like, man, I ain't doing music no more. Cause there's so much that you can do in music. Like my little cousins, they was jits when I started. Now they 25, 26 years old, and I'm inspired by them, and I want to help them do what they do and engineer tracks for them and make
Mhm.
music with them. So it's like now that I'm seeing the younger generation coming up underneath me, it giving me more inspiration to want to do music.
One of the questions I ask a lot of artists, like you already mentioned, you know what I'm saying, you don't get discouraged, you know what I'm saying, like it's part of the game for you. So what's your favorite part about what you do? Because it's a lot of aspects about being an artist. Like what's your favorite part? If you could do one thing every day for a week straight about with the music, what would it be? If you
Man,
could
I
just
say it's just like what I did right now, just networking, meeting new people, man. Because I didn't met so many different people from Texas to Colorado, L.A., New York, uh, fucking Chicago, Detroit, Tennessee, all over, and it's really just like my old lady. She a flight attendant, so I travel a lot as well too. I'm going to Montreal tomorrow,
he
but
said
it's good.
Montreal tomorrow.
It's good to know people when you go somewhere.
That's a
'Cause
Canada, right?
yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
it's
that's what I
Canada.
said. I ain't
But it's good when you go somewhere, you know some people. You know what I'm saying? Because I hate to go somewhere and be green as hell and not know what hood I shouldn't be going into, or
facts.
not what you know what I'm saying, what block not to turn down, or even to know what a good shit is at, like what the clubs and shit is at. Like
Mm-hmm.
I lived in Atlanta for 5 years, so if you go out there with me, I know exactly where you can go if you can smoke your blunt in the club. You know what I'm saying? Get you a dance from one of the little shorties walking by, all of that. You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? 'Cause I'm so locked in everywhere I go and I meet people. So networking is the biggest part of music for me that I love doing, and also like collaborating with different people. You know, talking to different DJs and getting thrown on the mix, or talking to different artists and being like, "Hey, you need a beat." You know what I'm saying? If you need a verse, I want you to hop on this. It's just the whole. It's a community type of thing.
Mm-hmm. What's your support system like? You know what I'm saying? Like you mentioned, you know what I'm saying, networking on flights with your lady, but outside of that, you know what I'm saying, what's it like, you know what I'm saying, with the shares, with the people you grew up with, the people that's around you? Is it I talk to a lot of artists and they be like their biggest fans is people they never met before, or people that they don't even know. What's that like for you?
It's a mixture of that. Like with the brand and Terps and all of that, most of the people that buy the merch be people I never even talked to, people I never met before. I'll be in a grocery store, somebody be like, I like that hat, I like that shirt, what can I get one?
Mm-hmm.
But when it comes to the music, a lot of it is core. Cause some people been seeing me do this since I was a shorty. And I was one of those shorties that was always kicking it with the older people. So like now they seeing me come up. So I got a lot of OGs. Well, not a lot, but I got a few OGs who are seeing me now, and they're like, "Man, I've been seeing you do it for a minute. Keep doing your thing." So that's like what really supports me doing it for my OGs.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
For sure. For sure. So a little bit earlier, I asked you about your favorite part. What's your least favorite? If you could take away anything about what you do, what would it be and why? From the business, from the janky promoters, you know what I'm saying? From what's to it? What's to it?
I be man, 2 words, fake shit.
Mm-hmm.
Motherfuckers will be so fake, it don't make no damn sense, man. Like your homie will go and meet with Jermaine Dupri and not even mention the fact that you made music.
Mm.
You know what I'm saying? Some bitch that she was fucking with last night pull up and be fucking with, you know what I'm saying, another major executive and won't mention nothing about you. Be taking pictures with the motherfucker and everything.
Mm.
And then they'll come back and kick it with you the next day, like, oh, what's good, JG? You still making music?
Mm.
Or like, you know what I'm saying? The fake shit, or even like you'll be kicking it with somebody and then you'll go in public somewhere and then they might get in, or they might get in close to somebody and then they act like they don't
Yeah,
know you.
right.
That'd be the shit that I don't fuck with, because I'm a Muslim, so I can't do that. I
Mm-hmm.
can't be fake to nobody. You know what I'm saying? We all meeting on the same level, and I show the same love to you that I show, you know what I'm saying, the president.
Mm-hmm.
I show the same love to a janitor. Like it don't matter who it is.
For sure, for sure. And I'm glad you kind of went into that a little bit. So I want to ask you now, what's your overall opinion on your peers in the industry that you're a part of? You know what I'm saying? Now, like not the mainstreams, but like the people you see at the events, on the Instagrams that you interact with. You know what I'm saying, on the features and shit. What's your overall opinion on the industry, the artists, the engineers? You know, the videographers. What's your thoughts on it?
Right now, I'm feeling like a lot of microwave music was being made the past 5 to 7 years, and now that shit getting stale.
Mm-hmm.
So the real rappers and the real artists and the real producers and the people who making music that's meant to last
Mm-hmm.
are starting to shine and break through. Like Victoria Monet, she 30 years old and she just won a Grammy for the
Mm-hmm.
was it the best R&B album last year? Killer Mike, damn near 50, and he just won the best rap album. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying? So
I
like,
was just talking to somebody and it was like, nigga, two chains reset it for everybody on shorty. He was
yeah,
like, he
yeah.
was like, he 2 chains want to reset it for me. I forgot what the fuck I was talking to, but he was like, When
And
he
I ain't
saw
gonna
Two
lie.
Chainz do it, he was like, I was like, fuck it. On
I ain't gonna lie. Killer Mike album was hard as hell.
Mhm.
I actually listened to
I
that.
need to check it out.
Man, I listened to it all the way through. That shit was hard. And he was rapping his ass off. And that song he got
Spinning that
with
shit?
on there.
You spinning that? Okay.
You see what I'm saying? Like, and he reached out to young, old, everybody. That album is for everybody.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why I'm saying, like, to answer your question, right now I like where music is going because I feel like it's people are getting pushed to work harder to make something that lasts now. Because now, if you go look on Instagram or somebody making some shit that don't sound good, or somebody making some shit that sound like they clout chasing or just trying to copy somebody, them comments be giving them hell. Them comments be giving people hell.
For sure. Because you know the real. We know the real.
You know what I'm saying?
What's going on?
But if somebody going in, comments gonna be like, "Hey, he killed that."
For sure. For sure. So you mentioned a little bit a while ago that you are a Muslim. What's your take on, I don't know how familiar you are with like a lot of the drill rappers becoming, you know what I'm saying, Muslim. Do you think that's like disrespectful? Do y'all is it coming? Do y'all think they're using it just to, you know what I'm saying, get the gang names taken off on? What's your views as that as an actual practicing Muslim?
So as far as Islam goes, I gotta clarify. I'm a Sunni Muslim, so I'm not a part of the Nation of Islam. I'm a part of Sunni. That's like a Middle Eastern, type of sect. You know what I'm saying? The originator. But a lot of brothers, they do go to jail, and they, what I'm saying, convert to Islam. Me, I converted to Islam of my own free will as a free man. You know what I'm saying? I converted to Islam through a brother who shined the light on me, and I was like, man, I want to know what it feel like to be this happy and at peace. Because I was going through a stage in my life where I was enraged. You know what it's like growing up out here, bro. Like, a lot of shit make you mad out here, and you want to do something to somebody.
Yeah, facts.
So I'm like, man, where can I find this peace? So I converted, and I've been chill ever since then. But as far as like people, Islam is for everybody, and I tell people all the time, Islam is perfect, Muslims are not. So if a brother feel like he want to do what he do, like Dave East, he a Muslim. He smoking weed, getting tattoos, rapping about fucking bitches, drinking alcohol all the time, you know what I'm saying, doing his thing. But I'm never going to judge that brother because he's supposed to be a brother. So if a brother is genuine in his heart and he really, you know what I'm saying, comes into the fold, I can't do nothing but respect it. We all going to have things that we do, like we all going to sin. So I can't judge a man for his sins, but it is some shit out here. People be out here tweaking. Like Ruby Rose bent over with her ass out talking about she a Muslim now. That was crazy.
Yeah.
That was crazy work.
I don't know too much about it. Ain't that Juice Street girl though? Now?
Yeah.
Girl.
Yeah. She had the whole coochie out there talking about she was a Muslim. And I was like, all right, you tweaking a little bit. She changed her profile. They gave her hell. Yeah, she changed her profile picture after that. But
yeah, I bet she did, man. Social media run that. Whatever they don't agree with, I'm sure your ass be on today, off tomorrow if they don't agree with that shit.
Man, and the one thing I hate about
I actually said the wrong word in the podcast. I gotta make sure I delete that. I can't forget it. I gotta bet before I get canceled. I'm sure. But we grew up saying it. I'm sure.
One thing I hate about social media is legends be feeling like they gotta respond to everything, and it takes away from the mystery and the magic of who they are. You know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like legends, people who've been in the game for 30 years or so, they shouldn't be responding to no comments from somebody just because they said their music trash. And I'm like you already solidified who you are.
Yeah, if you solidified already.
You're not even supposed to be showing that shit bother you. Because Michael Jackson wouldn't be on no damn Instagram talking about. You know what I'm
supposed to be getting your 50 Cent on, man.
You know what I mean?
50 Cent, the best example on how to retire as a rapper.
Oh, yeah, he a troll.
The best example.
But he was trolling his whole career. Like, he spent his whole career attacking everybody.
Yeah, for sure.
But that's how he stayed relevant if he peeped the key.
So speaking of staying on speaking on staying relevant, talk to me about some ways you promote yourself as an artist. Like, how do you get your name, your music, your likeness out to people who may not have heard or seen you before?
The one thing I learned in Atlanta when I was living out there is the DJs run everything. So I got a lot of love and respect for the DJs. One of my best friends, he's a DJ. He's been DJing for years. And like in Atlanta, I met so many different DJs and I pass them my music, or, you know what I'm saying, get them to spin my shit. That's how you get people to really get in tune with you. And then also, it's really just wearing my merch, because if it's clean, it's got a nice logo, and people see it, they're gonna ask questions about it. And when they ask questions about it, I send them to the website, they find the music, and then it goes from there. So you really just gotta be visually appealing, and then you also gotta network with people. You can't be afraid to talk to nobody out.
So throughout the interview, you the networking word, we've been throwing it around like crazy. What's it like actually working with other artists? Is that something that you cool with? Something that's members only? You know what I'm saying? Do you hear other artists' music and you be like, yo, let's work? What's it like working with other artists or features? You know what I'm saying?
See, I'm kind of weird. Like I would rather work with an R&B artist than a rapper.
Mm-hmm.
'Cause a lot of the times, rappers be kind of one track minded, and a lot of people can only rap one way.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm so multifaceted that I started out like making R&B type beats and stuff like that. And the singer, you usually write their parts for them anyway, or you know what I'm saying, unless it's
Right.
somebody that's like a Jacquees who gonna do their own shit.
Mm-hmm.
But when it comes to rappers, I don't necessarily, unless I know them personally and we built a rapport, I don't just be jumping on songs with random rappers because like I said, I engineer too.
Mm-hmm.
So I had to sit through so many damn sessions suffering because a nigga taking 40 minutes to record one bar.
So on the engineering side, is you strictly, you know what I'm saying, I'm here doing my job, I'm just stopping and recording whatever he say, or is you like, hey man, I need you to I need more life in this bar. I need you, you know what I'm saying? Is you like that? What's it like on the engineering side?
It depends on if I fuck with the song or not. I hate to sound like so biased, but it's like if I feel like you just doing this as something to do,
Mm-hmm.
then I'm gonna just let you do what you gotta do. You know what I'm saying? Help you get through the recording, do what you gotta do. But if I feel like this song could be something and you really trying to do this for real, I might be like, hey, switch them words around, bro, because you're running out of breath at the end of this.
Mm-hmm.
Or hey, maybe you should double this up. Or hey, let me put a drop in here, right here, and that'll hit harder, like certain stuff like that. Cause if I'm enjoying the music, I'm gonna want to naturally enhance it.
Mm-hmm. For sure. I got a couple more questions before I let you go. What would you say would be the highlight of your career up to this point? You know what I'm saying? Whatever it is, big or small, whatever it is to you personally. You know what I'm saying? When you look back on your highlight reel, what's the first clip that's coming up?
I would say, man, in my humblest opinion, all of the people that I knew making it, like seeing J Main make it, seeing my homie Peter, he started a business with Lil Bibby and then they found Juice World. So
Mm-hmm.
watching that whole thing take off, uh really just watching all Saba. I knew Saba before I even went to college. He hit me up and he was trying to work on something, but that was way back when I was in my big headed
I grew up with
teenage years.
Fresh, I'm sure.
Yeah.
He from North Avenue, I'm sure.
Yep. And my and shout out to my homie Boy Illinois, like watching him go on tour with Lupe. Well, he Illy the Kid now, but Illy D. Williams rather. Um, he went on tour with Lupe like 3 times. So
Mhm.
watching him when I first met him, it was me and like two homies in the crowd. Now he touring with Lupe, and that shit was crazy to me to watch his trajectory. Like just watching other people around me succeed at this shit.
Mhm.
That's really what be the best part of this to me.
That's dope, man. That's dope, man. So for anybody who may be watching or listening to this and seeing you for the first time, if they type in JG Swayze, what's a project? What's a song? What's a video? What would you point them to and why?
Man, go listen to that Kushmore Legends, man. Me and my brother Ty Khalif, Kushmore Legends. It's a picture of me breaking down some good on the dig. You see the rings on there.
Mm-hmm.
That's the project right there. Go play that Boosie Collins off of there.
Mm-hmm. What is it about that project?
Man, it took us maybe a year and a half to make it, and I produced the majority of it,
Mm-hmm.
engineered all of it, and to me, it's the most solid project that I've done to date.
Mm-hmm.
And it came out in 2022, I want to say, summer 2022. So it's about 2 years old, but even to this day, it's still hitting. Like that's one of the most successful projects I have too.
Mm-hmm. For sure, for sure. So you got so much work put in, man. You got the backup plan, so you able to be freely creative as you please. What's the goal at the end of the day? Like what you trying to pursue, what you trying to obtain when you sit down in your rocking chair and it's said and done. What's it gonna look like?
Man, to be honest with you, I really just want to get certain features out the way. I want to do a feature with Davies. I want to do a feature with Freddie Gibbs. I want to build up to the point where I can get a feature with Kanye.
Mm-hmm.
Nas, that would be great. You know what I'm saying? But I don't know if that is something that'll happen because I don't know if he's getting ready to retire soon or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But really just getting that resume to that point where I can listen to some songs and be like, damn, I did that shit. Like,
Mm-hmm.
that'd be crazy. Because at this point, I've made all different types of music to the point where I done made all the different type of tracks that I necessarily would like to listen to. But getting those big name features, that'd be something that I could be like, all right, I can close the book on this shit, move on to something else now.
Mm-hmm. For sure, for sure. That's dope, man. So I definitely appreciate your time. Appreciate you coming through. If you could, now before we go about it, tell everybody exactly, you know what I'm saying, the merch, you know what I'm saying, what's the meaning, you know what I'm saying, behind the logos, the names, you know what I'm saying, the capital Z, what's the meaning behind everything?
So we got terps, you know what I'm saying? That's short for terpenes. I changed it to a Z because terps with an S is a whole different brand for, like, I think for a college football team or something like that. And that's short for terrapins, which is like a turtle or something like that. But terps is short for terpenes, and terpenes are the chemical compound that make up every single smell or aroma that's in fruits, vegetables, herbs, and things of that nature, and pretty much what makes up all the health benefits for it as well. So right now I got the pine cone, which is symbolic for pinene. So you know, pine saws got pinene in it. Pine trees got pinene in them. Like when you smell that pine smell, that's what pinene is. So terps, man.
For sure. And what about the apple? What's to the apple?
So the apple, that's terpinolene.
Mm-hmm.
That's the name of that terp. So pretty much the terp that's inside the apples, that fragrance, that smell, that taste, that aroma, and those health benefits are the terpinolene terpene.
Okay, for sure. So we got the shirts and the hat right here in front of us. What all merch do we got, and where can we find it? Where can we get it, and all that good shit?
So right now on the website, I got the polos, but if you want the tees, we just came out with the tees, so you have to hit me directly for them. But and we also got the hats online. But if you go to swayzland.com/terps, that's SWAYZLAND.com/terps, TERPZ, you can get the hat, you can get the polos that I got. But if you want to get the tees, which just came out right now because of the season that we in, you definitely have to hit me up. That's at JG Swayze on Instagram.
For sure, yeah. And that's man right there sitting next to me, man. So when I definitely rock it, I'll make sure I flick you up and tag you and everything, let people know what was to it, man. So
Follow the page on Instagram too, Terpswear, TERPZWEAR, Terpswear.
facts, man. I definitely appreciate your time for you get up out of here. Let the people know where they can find you on social media, where they can find the music. You already told them about the merch, but you can do it again if you want to. But we finna get up out of here.
Sure. So y'all can find me on Instagram at JG Swayze, JGSWAYZE, or you can go to the merch page, Terpswear, TERPZWEAR, Terpswear, and you can also visit my website, swayzland.com, SWAYZLAND.com/terps if you're looking for the merch, or just swayzland.com by itself for the music. You can find my music on Apple Music, Spotify. Last project, like I said, is Cushmore Legends. Look that up on Spotify, Apple Music, and yeah.
For sure, man. I definitely appreciate you coming through. I'm definitely a fan, man. I love the style. I love the delivery, man. I love when I could turn on something and it is different from what all my artists sound different from each other. I'm sure. So
Yeah,
you
diversity,
definitely got added to the playlist, man. So with that being said, man, enjoy the rest of your evening, man. In a minute, gang.